Hello, everyone. This is Yuri the Fury of Furious Effects, and today we're going to talk about 3 ways you can eliminate or nearly eliminate your losses, whether you trade Propfirm or personal account. Before we begin, please remember Forex involves risks, and this is an educational video only, so Furious Effects and its associates are not going to be held liable for any losses you might incur. All right, so let's get right to the charts. Let's look at the chart and talk about how you can almost always win. Now, I've talked about it on several Furious Mondays, or maybe it was a Furious Sunday at the time. So it's not going to be brand new, but for a lot of people that are just joining the channel, it's going to be new. By the way, if you're just joining the channel, please hit like and subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos and help us out. Okay, so there are some facts around the market, which is what I like to focus on, not some rumors or opinions when it comes to the strategy. But there are a few facts, right? We are very, very impatient. Everyone is. I don't care who you are. That is the most important thing, is to be disciplined. And so it's hard sometimes, and myself included. Sometimes we get impatient. Maybe we see Instagram posts that people are trading successful, maybe we get jealous. Maybe we planned a trade and we didn't get up, or something, life got in the way, and then now you're chasing the market. So we get FOMO, right? So that's a fact, right? Factor number one. So I'm going to give you these facts, and then I'm going to tell you how to battle them and how to eliminate them. So we get FOMO. All right. So second thing, we get greedy. And what I mean by greedy is we don't want to take partials, but we just want to hold the trade because we think it's going to go, up to the moon or tank. So I say being greedy, right? That's the second fact, right? And third one, because we don't want to miss trades, right? We usually like to set limits. We set limits. Not saying that's wrong, just giving you facts. We set limits to not miss the trade, right? There's other things we do wrong as traders with our psychology and risk management and trade management, but definitely not going to put this all in one video. Set limits to not miss a trade. Okay, so those are the 3 facts. So how do we battle them? Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you, to avoid the FOMO, when you really want to trade and you shouldn't be trading, maybe it's in your trading plan like mine not to trade Monday, but you really want to trade and it's just itching. And if you have the cell phone, iPhone has actually removed the MetaTrader from the marketplace, but if you have Android or if you have cell phones, and you like trade from the cell phone, you fall in the category of I can trade anytime. So what I call, and again, my snipers know what that is, but I call these things research trading. If you're trading, especially if you're trading on a big account, on a Propfirm account, or if you're trying to pass the challenge, and you have a limited number of days, right? You have 100 grand. Okay. So let me ask you this. If you have 100 grand, what does 0.01 do to your account? Nothing. Right. So 0.01 lots, micro lot, doesn't do anything. So I call them research trades. So let's say I'm looking at this odd JPY just randomly. I don't trade this pair, but I just want to do something that's uncomfortable to me because I don't know how this pair moves necessarily, but same concepts work for the same things. But let's say I'm going over here and I have analyzed this, that this is the liquidity and this is the top of the week and this is the zone from which it's going to react. And I was planning while it was Asian session, but I didn't want to, without confirmation, put any kind of sell limits. And now I come into the market and the market is doing this, right? It moved like 100 pips here, right? It moved 100 pips and I'm just coming into the market and now I want to trade all of a sudden, right? I know in my head, right? You know that, you're too late, buddy. The train has moved and now you try to chase the market. So you are either thinking this is break of structure, not looking at the high, the true high that holds the bearishness, right? This high made this low, and then this is lower. But maybe you're just looking at you're kind of like a scalper that this broke structure and you're trying to make a buy here, but you know you shouldn't. So instead, put 0.01 buy here. Or if you're trying to chase the market and you know it's going to go down more, you try to sell. Also put 0.01. What does that accomplish? Well, you know you're way too late. And I call this research because it will tell you, if you're confused, what the true direction of the market is. So once that happens, right? Once all the structure is broken, everything's broken, now you know we're truly bearish. And no matter what happens then in the market, maybe once the market comes back here, you could try to enter a normal position in a much better POI. But in the meantime, you're going to have this 0.01 sitting here. And if it goes your direction, you're going to make extra, you know, 10 bucks, whatever it is. If it goes against your direction, you're going to lose 10 bucks. But the negative 10 bucks does nothing to your equity, absolutely nothing to 100 grand. Now, if you own $100 account, if you're just starting out in trading, my advice to you, stay the fuck away. It's easier said than done, but you don't have the advantage of the big account, so you cannot do this trick, and God help you. If you only have $100 to trade, my advice to you, trade on demo. I'm not trying to sound harsh. That's my advice to you, is trade on demo if you only have $100 to trade. In fact, if you only have $1,000, you should be very careful, even with 0.01s. But it will work kind of with it, you know, better than trading just for nothing, without regard to anything. But this should you know, feed your greed, as you know, feed your FOMO, and accomplish the goal of getting in the market all the time, but you know, still being disciplined enough not to lose any money, because the name of the game, guys, is equity preservation at all times. Equity preservation. Yeah, you were impatient. Yeah, you kind of like fed more butter in the oil, but you did it with understanding that it's not going to affect anything, that 0.01, and it gives you information on what actually is going to happen in the market if you know what you're doing, at least a little bit. So the first trick is use research trades when you need to trade. Psychologically, you feel like you need to trade, but you know you shouldn't. Use research trades. The second, probably the most, well, I guess the second equally important, but in my opinion more important, is twin trading. And there's a certain way I approach twin trading. There's all kinds of different theories on twin trading. I have a certain way to almost eliminate all your losses. So now let's talk about true trades and understanding, you know, how everything works and getting in. Now, let's say, right, that I actually did this analysis and decided, okay, well, we got, now when we were coming here, right, let's look as if I'm analyzing this and I don't know that it's going to go and wipe this thing out. And we're going to show different examples here, but this is how I would have approached it if I came in here on Wednesday, which I know the FOMC is coming, not that it has a USD, but I know it's going to get affected anyway. I see this break of structure. I see the complete sweep, including this. The weekly low is broken. I know there could be a reversal, but I want to try to trade this. And you know, this is Asian highs as well, but I don't see any order blocks, which I then will tell you how I trade is I would put this as a Quasimodo over here, maybe including these wicks as my later entry as an extreme. But what broke the structure is this. So let's assume I would have identified this order block as my entry. Okay, so let's see how much here we got 15 pips, which is a little bit more. So I usually do 10 pips. So let's go with 10 pips. Here. And here we go. So the way I do twin trading would be, I will put 2 trades. One trade, I will put, let's go a little higher. Let's go actually here. That's better. Okay. So let's put 2 trades, right? One is going to be 1 to 2. And the other trade is going to be 1 to, let's say, whatever your target is. In this case, is going to be 1 to 5. All right. Let's go to here. Because I don't know what's going to happen in the market, but let's assume I don't know. Okay. So when I do this and I play the market, right here, what happens here is we have hit profit at 1 to 2. So let's assume you're trading on 100 grand account, 100,000 account, and you're risking, for the challenge or whatever, you're risking 0.5%. Each trade, you risk 0.5%. So instead of risking 0.5%, each of these trades is, I'm going to split that into 2, and it's going to be 0.25% and 0.25% for each of these 2 trades. Okay, so this one is 1 to 2, which means the first trade just hit profit. All right, the first it just hit profit at 0.5% because 1 to 2. So my equity is now at 100,500. You made 0.5%, right? So the second trade, as we know, is going to hit stop loss. Okay, so it hit stop loss. No big deal, but it hit stop loss. So we lost 0.25. All right, so now we're sitting at 10,250. Now, technically, we have lost the trade. We got manipulated, right? But we made money, right? Our strategy says, right? This order block that is in the wick, and it's an extreme, local extreme, and it led to break of all these structures. There should be a reaction. And we like our sell limits. So market was here. It made sense. We were patient. But we're not sure if it's going to go to the high of the week. Maybe it will take the high of the week. We don't know, right, at this point. But we know with everything and market conditions that this should be continuing bearish. That's what we know. So we have a bearish bias. So we already lost the trade, but we didn't care about that loss because it lost us 0.25 and made us 0.5. So we made 0.25%. Nothing to brag about. But we do the same thing over here in our extreme. Now that we have taken this low, we can see what's going on, right? And I'm not saying you have to use our strategy, the Furious Effect strategy. If you like it, you can. But even if you're doing support resistance, whatever, this will work for any strategy you do because this works on your risk management discipline psychology, not on your actual entries, right? This is not important, your entries. What's important is how you enter. So obviously, if you're entering randomly, it's not going to work. But we all know that 1 to 2 is much easier to do than 1 to 5, than 1 to 10, and so forth. All right, so let's assume that's where we started. And we're going to go, again, 1 to 2 and 1 to many. So that eliminates the question, by the way, or where do you take partials? Partials are not important. This is my partial, right? That first trade is going to be my partial, 1 to 2. I know that my equity is protected no matter what. I don't need to put my stop loss into profit because I'm going to make money either way. How many times, guys, you put stop loss and profit, and it just hits your stop loss and profit and goes your desired direction. And you're like, oh, if only I didn't move my stop loss into profit too early, I would have. This eliminates this because you don't need to manage that part. You already hit 122, so that's your stop loss and profit, and then some, because you already made money. And then the second trade, why do you want to move it in into, lose it if it's meant to be? It doesn't matter. You made money. So we go to the second part, and market does its thing, market does its thing, market does its thing, market does its thing. Yeah, this one missed out, but it's okay. So let's say it didn't miss. For the purposes, see, I'm just telling you, I'm doing this right now. I'm not, but yeah, I'm being real with you guys. I'm not predetermined, predid something. This is all life. So let's assume this hit, because that's the second example I want to show, right? So if you miss, it's okay. Doesn't matter. What do you got? Research trades, right? Research trades. If you miss it, go and research trade. We already talked about that. But here, let's say it hit, right? This is the greatest scenario because you got your 1 to 2. And then let's say you were going towards just here, right? Discipline entries, not greedy. So this is your 1 to 8. Okay. So you got 1 to 2. So you got 500. And then you got 1 to 8. And you got another 2,500. So now you're sitting at, so wait, hold on, 1 to 2, 500, that's 100 and 750. Hang on to your horses. There's a method in a minute. So 100, 750, and then so you made 0.5%. And now it's 100 and 750. And then you hit 1 to 8, which is 4%. No, 4%. 2%, right? That's another 2,000. So now you're at 100 to 750. Okay, why 2%? Well, because this is the second part of the trade. It's only 0.25 that you're risking. So 0.25 times 8 is 2, right? So you got 102,750 in 2 trades in 1 day on 1 pair, which is 2%, 2.5, right? 2.75%. On the challenge, usually it's 10%, right? Very realistic. Now, let's say, right? Let's say, it's not a challenge, your real account. Let's say you lost both, right? Let's say you lost both after that, which will happen sometimes, right? Rarely, but it will happen. You lost 2 trades. What happens? You lose 0.5%. So let's say next one you identify, you lose 0.5%. Now you're at 102, 250. Right? Do you see, guys, what I mean? Now, the other trick is, let's say this was your original target. You take 50% of 50%. So you made 1,000. Take it off and then let the rest ride, putting stop loss and profit. That's up to you, right? But I'm just giving you this example here. And you see that your equity, even though sometimes goes a little bit down, it's always above where you started. Or for the most part, unless your first one hits 2 losses, which is just a regular loss, it's not much. So it eliminates or nearly eliminates all your losses, even when you lose, if you know where you're entering and you stick to your strategy. Right? So the third and most important, in my opinion, rule to make your trading consistent and way better, and this one's not going to eliminate your losses. This is going to help preserve the equity in a long run. And that rule is, if you lost 2% in a day, stop trading. That is the hardest one to do, but guess what? You got your research trades if you still want to trade. Research trades don't count. 0.01 is okay. But if you lost 2%, stop trading. Because you're going to get emotional, you're going to chase trades, you're going to self-sabotage. So in order to avoid that, stop trading. Put 0.01, get mad at the market, put 0.01 trade in, and be happy that you're entered, but walk the fuck away. Okay, so those are 3 tips for today. And I, if you like this video, or if you have any questions, leave the comments below on YouTube. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this on mindset, on risk management. Just decided to do something different. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. By the way, if you want to join us, we have a free Discord community where we showcase our trades, and from there you can join our family or paid mentorship you'd like. All those links are underneath below. Anyways, have a good weekend. Hopefully kill next week in the markets, and stay blessed.